Alright, a very good evening to you. I do trust you're fine wherever you're watching us from. This is Destiny TV, a station that impacts your life. And of course, this is Boresha Show, where we bring you issues that affect us as farmers, consumer, and the entire nation. And last week, in the last episode, we were discussing more on post-harvest handling practices, whereby our guest, Mr. Kirigia, was telling us on ways that you can preserve your commodities so that when you take them to the market, they will fetch good market. And today is not an exemption. We are still continuing with where we left. And with me here, I'm having a guest. She's Madam Beth. She's going to tell me a due more on marketing these commodities in the marketplace, and join us and we will learn more. Welcome, Madam. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Thank you. My name is Beth Macau. I'm a lecturer, Mary University of Science and Technology in the Department of Agriculture. I teach agribusiness and entrepreneurship courses. Thank you.
Thank you. You've heard, and that's who she is, and now that she's here, she's going to tell us how the market has been affected by this COVID-19. Are you able to access the market? Are you able to go and buy your tomatoes, potatoes, cabbages, skooma, and everything of such kind? She's going to tell us what marketing is all about and what relationship that exists between this agriculture and marketing. Yes.
Thank you. If I may start by defining what agricultural marketing is all about. Agricultural marketing basically involves so many activities, but it's all about whatever activities that take place between the seller and the buyer, who is the consumer. So many activities take place from the time a commodity leaves the farm up to the time a commodity is consumed by the ultimate consumer. There are various activities that are involved there, and all those activities is what we call agricultural marketing. And here we are talking of activities such as once a commodity has been grown, it has been harvested, there is point of collection whereby we assemble various commodities from point A, point B, point C. We all assemble them together at one collection point. Then after assembling them, you may require a bit of storage of the same. You may store them at one point. After storing them, they will necessarily not be consumed there. There are those commodities which require probably to be processed. They will be transported. So here we are talking of, you have assembled the commodities in one point, you have maybe stored the commodities, then you transport the commodities, then once you transport them, probably they are processed, depending on what kind of commodity we are talking about here. There are those which are processed, there are others that are consumed raw. So depending on the nature of the commodity in question here, there are those which will be require processing. Once they are processed, of course, the other things follow, like grading, standardizing them, putting them in different grades here and there. Then finally, of course, you package them, you put them in those convenient packages to the consumer or to the end user. So quite a number of activities are involved here, and all those activities together, we call them agricultural marketing activities. So agricultural marketing is not just one term. It's a various number of activities here. Yeah.
Wow, that's a very good start of, at least you've connected the last episodes with today's episode. And bearing in mind that all of us, we are facing this great pandemic, that is the COVID-19, and we are unable to access to the marketplaces, and our farmers, once their commodities are ready, they are unable to take them to the market. And I was reading somewhere, farmers are complaining that the prices are going low, most of the commodities are going into waste, they are not able to access the market. So you will be able, you will tell us the situation before we before we engage more on those activities and other things that just rotate around the marketing, you'll tell us the situation, the current situation on marketing. Yes.
Yes, that's a good question, Ken. Currently, we are really facing a challenge, matters to do with the marketing of agricultural commodities. First of all, the nature of agricultural commodities is such a way that there's a lot of interaction. Yeah, even as a buyer, when I'm buying these commodities, I need to touch them, I need to evaluate, I need to assess. So definitely, I will require to interact with whoever is selling them. Right now, this pandemic is in such a way that interaction is not encouraged. Yeah, so we are facing a challenge whereby myself as a buyer, I want to go to the market, interact with the seller, assess the commodity, touch the commodity as much as possible, but now we have that challenge. That way, it is only possible that whoever is selling, if they can embrace a way of maybe packaging, value addition, so that rather than the consumer evaluating, touching the commodities here and there, they can just look at the grade and then they select with minimum interaction as much as possible. Another way we can go about it is if the sellers can embrace what we call home delivery. If there is a way they can deliver these commodities to the buyers on their doorstep, I think that is better. But currently we are facing that challenge whereby minimum interaction is encouraged, and that is really a challenge. Basing our argument that the commodities, by their nature, you must interact here and there. You must select, you must pick, you must assess them, evaluate physically, and all that, which now has come to maybe to an end because of the pandemic we are facing. So the only way to go about it, in my opinion, is value addition, whereby the sellers, maybe they can package the commodities so that I go there and just pick what I want without necessarily having to evaluate them physically and all that.
You see now that it's a great task for all of us, because, for example, I want to buy cherry tomatoes or maybe grapes. And you see there is the quality and the sensory characteristic that me as a consumer, I would love to buy that commodity with such characteristics. But now you've packaged that and you've delivered it to me. And maybe I ordered via online on such platforms. Don't you think that it will be so hard for me to accept that commodity and it's not really that thing that I wanted in the market? So how is that?
Okay, thank you for that question. So here, because this is something that came to all of us, yes. We were not expecting the situation to be the way it is. I think what will help us as Kenyans is to have integrity. You as a seller, once you are packaging this commodity, please have integrity that you are packaging the right commodity. So if you put a grade and assuming that it is a good grade, let it be a good grade, because that way is the only way we can deal with it. Now that the situation is in such a way that we cannot go the way we were doing it freely. You go selecting, you go picking, you go testing and all that. Yeah. Again, we have really been encouraged to observe hygiene if we have to fight this disease. That way, again, it calls for integrity. You will not be encouraged to go testing products here and there like we used to do before. So it is good that we embrace hygiene, we observe integrity, we be faithful to ourselves so that we fight the disease and hopefully the situation will be restored. That's our hope.
That's very good. And in the last episodes that I've already passed, we went in the farm and we were able to interact with most of the farmers. And the challenge is some of the farmers do an enterprise, or they grow like if it's cabbage or tomato, or maybe they put cows or goats, but they don't know the market demand of that commodity. So, and you'll help us to identify, to understand how we can identify the market gap. For example, I want to enter into agribusiness, because all of us, of course, even the viewers, whenever you are triggered to enter into farming, the first thing is making profit, because an enterprise without profit, then you're doing zero work. For example, now a farmer want to begin farming, want to start an enterprise. How would you assist that farmer to identify a market gap?
Thank you for that question. Identifying market opportunities as far as agribusiness is concerned, there's quite a number of ways of doing the same. First of all, there is what we call just doing market research or market survey. You can just survey the market, observe the trades, what is happening in the market. And that way, you'll be able to see probably which products are moving, which products are not moving. These products which are moving, you can be able to interact with the consumers, have questionnaires, do a research, and find out their level of satisfaction. As a consumer, you may be having a commodity, yes, but there's that level of satisfaction. Yes, the commodity is in the market, but maybe in terms of quality. You can always listen to grievances of the consumers. Consumers always talk of, if, for example, we had a better variety. If these are mangoes and the problem with these mangoes is ripening very fast, yeah? That way you can just listen to the grievances of the consumers. You can hear what their grievances are, what their problems are. And that way, when you enter into business now, you can address their grievances by providing or improving on the areas where they are not satisfied. That is one way of identifying opportunities. Another way of identifying opportunities, for example, in this pandemic we are facing right now, every problem, every challenge it brings an opportunity. Sure. Like right now, the government and the health officials are really encouraging that we eat right diet, healthy eating habits and all that. You know, to a farmer, this is an opportunity. How will you provide this healthy diet? So we are being encouraged to eat maybe fresh fruits, vegetables and all that, so that our immunity level is boosted and it is high. So although it's a disease, it has brought an opportunity to the farmer. So every challenge brings an opportunity. And you can just look at the challenges that are there and turn them to be opportunities. Yeah. Thank you.
And there's something on the same. There's a question that was sent to us the previous week. A farmer was asking, at least now you've known from identifying a market gap. You've known about the market research and you are triggered to think more. So this farmer wanted to begin an enterprise of which he didn't know. But at least after doing a market research, we will be able to understand what the consumer needs. Maybe in Meru County, there's a scarcity of avocado. The farmer can enter into that as an enterprise. Maybe in Nairobi County, there is no milk. People can start daily farming in that place.
Yeah.
So market research is such a good tool to use in identifying market gaps.
Sure.
Then as we're moving on well, and I would love you to tell us what marketing entails. You started by telling us, you already introduced this from the time you are helping us to understand what agricultural marketing is. You'll help us to understand what this marketing entails, all the way from the farm to the point of consumption.
Good. Just as I stated when I was opening, we said that marketing is a variety of activities. So marketing entails all those activities. And then we are going to move step by step. Yeah? But you are saying marketing entails all the activities that connect or that link the producer to the consumer. And quite a number of activities are involved here. So for example, marketing all begins with assembling of the products, picking products from various points where they have been grown and then assemble them together. Once they are assembled, the next thing is probably you store them a little bit. They require storage, or that storage here depends on what kind of produce are you storing. If, for example, you're storing fruits and vegetables, it's not the same way you are going to store cereals, yeah? But there's that element of storage. After storage, then there's distribution. Distribution is of 2 stages. There are 2 stages in matters distribution, yeah? You carry or you transport these products to areas where they will be processed. That is one stage. Another stage, once they are processed, then you distribute to the ultimate consumers. All that is to do with distribution. So here we are talking of marketing entails all those various activities depending on what product in question here. Various products, but they pass through various activities. So once the products, for example, we are talking of something like maize, yeah? It has been processed, it is now flour, yeah? How will you distribute it to the customers? Considering that, for example, we are talking in Meru, we are talking of Afya Center, yeah? Afya Center, which is up here, and the consumers are all over the country. How do you now distribute? While you are distributing this, there is also something known as sales promotion, creation of awareness, telling the consumers that now we have this maize flour, which is very good. We are selling it at this much. This is where you can find it. So all that creation of awareness is what we are calling a sales promotion. You must promote your product. So marketing entails all those activities, basically activities that link the producer and the ultimate consumer. And quite a number of activities are involved here. And they differ depending on the commodity in question. But it entails all those various activities. Yeah, thank you.
At least now that we've known what marketing entails, and that one brings us to our big question. And remember, you can participate, you can send your views or comments via the number that is appearing on your screen. Or you can also find us on Facebook, Destiny TV, and leave us with your comment, and we'll look more into those comments. And even before we take a break, you will help us to understand, just mention the key players in this marketing area. Then from there we shall break, and then we'll discuss more in details the key players.
Thank you. The key players in marketing, the first and the foremost player is the consumer. Yeah, consumer is the first player in the whole chain of marketing. And then we have the buyer. I mean, we have the consumer who is also the buyer. Then we have the seller, who is also the producer. And then depending on what kind of product in question here, we have people we call middlemen, yeah, or the sales agents. Those people who link the consumer and the producer. We have quite a number of players here. We have distributors, we have brokers, we have wholesalers, we have retailers. All those are people who link to these 2 parties here, who is the buyer and the seller. So marketing has quite a number of players, but these players vary depending on which commodity in question we are talking about here. Yeah, so we have those.
Their roles matters a lot.
Their roles matter a lot. For example, the role of the producer is to produce the commodity. Yeah. The role of the consumer is to consume the commodity and to provide information, to give feedback. Is the commodity satisfactorily supplied? Is it of good quality? Does it meet the customer satisfaction and all that? Then when it comes to people like wholesalers, they have a role of, for example, storing these commodities until they reach the consumer. So different players, they play different roles, which are very key in marketing.
All right, and the big question is, how do you think COVID-19 has affected marketing of agricultural commodities? Are you able to access the market as you used to do before? Are you able to buy that commodity that you used to buy as before? So give us your comment, tell us where you are, and tell us who you are. So I'll repeat the question. How do you think COVID-19 has affected marketing of agricultural commodities to you as a farmer or even as a consumer? Because all of us, we've been affected in one way or another. Even as we come back after the break, we'll be discussing more on the channels of marketing, and we'll be looking into the comment that you're sending in. Thank you so much.
Is Destiny TV.
Back after the break, I believe that
every day, people leave their home to the market either to buy or sell. A majority do not have an idea on where to sell or where to get what they want. Why? What is not marketed is not known. Not advertising is like stopping a watch to save time. Worry no more. Destiny Television and Destiny Radio are here to connect you to your next client. Talk to us for your business visibility and improved sales. For more information, contact us on 0721 140 831 or 0724 156 703. Destiny Television, impacting your life.
My name is Dr. Mary Beth Maritim. I'm an infectious disease physician and a member of the Infectious Disease Society of Kenya. I am recording this educational video on behalf of IDSK to help you learn how to wear and remove your surgical mask safely. How to wear the surgical mask. First, perform hand hygiene with soap and water or with an alcohol-based hand rub. Put on the mask with aluminium wire over your nose and mold it over your nose with the blue side of the mask facing away from your skin while the white side comes into contact with your skin. Open the pleats and ensure the mask covers your nose and extends to your chin. Tie the upper straps over the head in a bow and the lower straps over the lower part of the head also in a bow. Adjust or mold the aluminium wire to take the shape of your nose. Avoid touching your face while wearing your surgical mask, as you may contaminate your face. How to safely remove the surgical mask. First, perform hand hygiene with soap and water or with an alcohol-based hand rub. Remove the mask safely by touching only the straps. Untie the upper straps, followed by the lower straps. Do not touch the front of the mask. While holding the mask by the straps, discard it to a receptacle with a lid. Finally, perform hand hygiene with soap and water or with an alcohol-based hand rub.
Alright, welcome back after the break. I believe that you are moving on well, and this is Boresha Kulima. And back to where we left, we were looking more onto the key players in marketing, and now I had introduced the channels of marketing. Madam Beth, you tell us more on the same, even as we check the comments that are coming in from our viewers. Yes.
Thank you. I think when we talk of channels of marketing,
Yes.
a channel, if I may start by defining what a channel is. Channels of marketing is the route or the path that is followed by a commodity from the point of production to the point of consumption. That route it follows. All channels of consumption, they begin with the producer and they end with the consumer. These channels depend on what kind of product are we talking about here. If, for example, we are talking of a commodity like fruits and vegetables, yeah, those are perishable products. Definitely, they move just from the farmer to the consumer. They don't need to go through so many paths, through so many routes, because in their nature they are perishable, and the consumer would want them when they are fresh. Yeah. So that route that is followed by a product from the point of production to the point of consumption is what we call a channel of distribution, or channel of marketing is the same. So different products follow different routes, different channels. There's a channel whereby, as I mentioned, something like fruit and vegetables, you just move as a consumer, you take from the producer. So we call that one first channel.
Okay.
Yeah. Then there are those products that move from the producer, then they go to the wholesaler, they are stored for a bit, then they move to the retailer, and then finally to the consumer. That's also another channel. There are products that require to move from the producer, they go to the cooperative, they go to the retailer, then they go to the consumer. So that is also a different route. There are products that require even brokers, these middlemen. Yeah. So a channel is that route that is followed by product from the point of production to the point of consumption. And as I said, different products follow different routes or channels. Yeah.
Oh, now that you mentioned about the middlemen, the brokers.
Yes.
You see, I visited a certain farmer in some place in this country, and the farmers were complaining a lot concerning the middlemen. These people do buy the items, the commodities from the farmers. Let's take an example of a tomato or onions. Once they buy at a very low price, but once they take the commodity to the market, they usually get a lot of profit. And that one is bringing us now into the next thing that you are looking into. That is the challenges faced in marketing of this product. So what are the challenges that our farmers go through? And even before we look more into that, we had asked you a question: how do you think COVID-19 has affected marketing of this produce? And you can send your comment via the number appearing on your screen, or you can visit our social media platform, Twitter, Facebook, Destiny TV, and you find us there. So, Marlene, you tell us more on the same, and then we get back to the feedback.
Thank you. The challenges that farmers face ordinarily, even without the COVID-19, have been many. Just to mention a few challenges, that issue of middlemen has been a challenge.
Yes.
But then we cannot do away with the middlemen. They have their good side, and they also have their bad side. Looking at their good side, there is that farmer who is somewhere in the interior who does not have any market information. They entirely rely on middlemen to tell them the matters of demand, the availability of produce. Yeah, I'm a farmer. I'm just growing. I'm a grower, but I don't know. I have no market information where this commodity is, where demand is for that commodity. That way, middlemen become very important people to provide information. So it's not always the case that middlemen are there to maybe to lower the profits. Yeah. So middlemen play a role of linking the producer and the consumer. They link, they provide that link. And what I mean by linking here is the physical provision of the commodity. That is one way. And another way of linking is this provision of market information. You are a grower, you don't know where the demand is for your product, but the middleman knows. So as much as they make profit and they take advantage of the farmers, at the same time we cannot do away with them. Yeah?
They are important.
They are important. They have a role to play in the whole affair of marketing. So farmers, again, they face very many challenges. They face the challenges of the nature of their product. Most of their products are perishable in nature. So you are growing your fruits and vegetables somewhere in the interior, and because of perishability, most of them they rot before they reach the consumer. They deteriorate, so that by the time they get to the consumer, the quality is really spoiled. So they have that challenge because of the nature of their product. The only way to deal with that challenge is, for example, what we were saying, value addition. If they can process, package, yeah, so that is one of the challenges. Another challenge is an issue of transportation of their produce. Transporting this produce requires good condition of roads so that the produce will reach the market in good time, in good quality, and all that. So we have that challenge of transportation because of the nature of our roads. In most of the cases, our roads are in bad state, so we have that challenge of transportation. Our farmers also have a challenge of storage. Most of them, they lack storage facilities, and this is really a challenge which can really bring somebody down. You have now grown, you have harvested your produce, but you have nowhere to store the same. Yeah. So all these are challenges that our farmers face. The biggest challenge of them all is about price. Yeah, pricing of their commodities. By the nature of agricultural commodities, there is that price fluctuation, changes of prices. At the point of harvesting, the prices are too low. Yeah? So you cannot even be able to forecast and say, now I'm growing my tomatoes and I'll be selling this much per kg. Because of these changes in demand and all that kind of a thing. So we have that issue of price fluctuation which is a very big challenge to the farmers. Another challenge is now accessibility of the market, like right now, where we know that the open air markets have been closed. Closing of the market, and me as a farmer still growing and harvesting my produce. So you realize that most of the produce are just rotting in the farms. We cannot access the market. You cannot go sell. Yeah, there's restrictions in terms of movement of people from one place to another, and all those are challenges which our farmers are really facing. Yeah, just to mention a few.
Okay, and there's something that just I saw it somewhere. The farmers, I visited some farmers, and they were suffering from the loss in the farm. Maybe you can also help us to understand the loss that happens in the farm, and even before we come to know on how we can mitigate those challenges, like I have a commodity, I planted tomatoes, but there is nothing that I have harvested. You can also help us to understand that challenge, and then before we come to know on how we can mitigate those challenges. Yes. Yes, like you talk, I saw some farmers whereby they were telling me they have some insurance companies covering their crops and all that. Maybe you can help us to understand that challenge.
Yeah, there is a challenge in marketing or in agriculture known as crop failure.
Yes.
Yeah, a farmer can have total crop failure, yes. And crop failure can be out of, for example, we have had infestation of locusts. Yes. Yeah, whereby you just face a total crop failure, that you lose everything, you don't harvest anything. It could be due to pests like the locusts we have had. It could be even due to these weather changes, yeah, unpredictable weather changes. The farmers here is whereby farmers are now encouraged to take the crop insurance cover to mitigate that kind of a loss. Because in agriculture, actually so many things are not predictable. So to be on the safe side, it is encouraged that the farmers can really liaise and link with the insurance policies, and you protect yourself against the same. Yeah.
All right, and now back to the question that we had asked you. How do you think COVID-19 has affected marketing of agricultural commodities? To you as a farmer and to you as a consumer, how do you think that this COVID-19 has affected you? And there's a friend here, she is Metrin. Metrin says that no more business going on in the marketplaces because all places have been closed down to avoid spread of COVID-19. So Accessing the marketplace is a big problem now. Products from farms are now rotting due to lack of market. How true is that?
Accessing the marketplace has really been a challenge. Unfortunately, we are not seeing this one coming. But here, here is where we encourage the farmers to embrace technology, modern technology. Yeah, there are certain more way of coming up with mobile apps, whereby you do online marketing. Yeah, that way, as consumers, we can be able to know that farmer A is having this kind of produce. So it is the only way here is now to embrace modern technology, use of mobile apps, yeah, that can be able to link the buyer and the seller. Otherwise, now we are having that challenge of having the markets closed, but the products are there in the farms. So the way to mitigate that one is possibly embracing that modern technology, use of mobile apps that can be used to link, and they are there to link the farmer and the consumers.
That's a very good approach. And another one, Chief Wisdomist says that as a farmer, have largely affected by this menace COVID-19. For instance, I'm a macadamia farmer, where prices dropped from 200 Kenya shillings per kilogram to Kenya shillings 50, which is the total loss. Have the prices gone down?
Yes, the prices have really gone up. I think the prices have gone very low. Yeah, and this is a challenge which we had not seen coming. Unfortunately, as we can see, much of the government effort is now towards the how we can deal with the situation of the pandemic. So as farmers, yeah, I think the only way now is just to wait and hope that the pandemic will subside and then things will normalize. Otherwise, currently we just have to cope with the situation as it is.
There's another comment here. The problem is now that the government is on COVID-19. Now, like switching from to help farmers is a problem because they also value our lives. Now, it might also take time for some illiterate to understand other things as this. Okay, I understand the topic she's bringing in. It's about the technology. Trying to bring us to understand that the government is laying more emphasis on COVID-19, on how to curb that. But now the government shifting to helping farmers in technologies like creating those applications, doing some online shopping and all that is a big challenge. How true is that?
Yeah, that is quite true. Yes. And as I said, it is something we need to just learn to live with, because it's our hope. Our hope is that this pandemic is at some point is going to come to an end, and therefore, as much as we want the government maybe to assist, we can understand the nature of this disease.
Sure.
And there is every need that the government really chips in and tries to curb the disease, the spreading of the disease. At the same time, as farmers, as researchers, we can research more and more to see how we are going to survive. Because at the end of the day, what is most important is to survive. Yeah. So research should be done, research and development to come up with the ways of how do we get these products, yeah, which is rotting in the farm, which is the best way now to link the sellers and the buyers using technologies. Yeah. Another way is still on value addition. Yeah. Value addition is whereby how do you preserve the quality of that product. Yeah. So there is also need to embrace value addition, processing, packaging, and all that, so as to curb that problem.
Well, government really have to do something.
Government has to do something.
Has to do something to intervene for our farmers, even the consumers, because this is an issue that is affecting all of us as a farmer, as a consumer. Because if I don't there is this most consumed fruit today, avocado. Most of the students, most of the people out there, they love using avocado in their meals. And you find out that when you're cooking ugali or rice and there's no avocado in the near market, you find that you are really discouraged from consuming that food. And the government has to do something on that. Then I'll read this. Wakulima wengine hawatataka stress zingine za kujifunza vitu zingine, because wao anasema because wao ni kupanda, kuvuna na kuuza. So she's trying to bring an issue here that some of our farmers they lay much emphasis on production and harvesting. Now trying to bring some other technologies like mobile application. The other day we were with Dr. Chege and he was helping us to understand how we can embrace big data in farming, and now trying to introduce that to our farmers. Some of our farmers think it's no use, it's not a thing that you can adapt. So that is what she is trying to mean here. How true is that when we pass knowledge to our farmers, they are not ready to cooperate to get that knowledge?
Well, it is true what she's saying, but what I would say is that this is the high time that farmers are encouraged to undergo training. It is necessary that they undergo training. Once they undergo training, in the end, they will embrace this modern technology, because there is no need of you just aiming at producing and selling. And then all of a sudden a disease comes in whereby now you cannot access the market. And therefore, what I would say is that it's a high time the farmers embrace what? Training. And the government comes up with a policy of training the farmers. After all, we really need food security. Without food security, we will not be talking of surviving even that disease, because we have even seen the government saying that those who are immune, those who are surviving are those who are strong. Therefore, we really need that food. We need good diet and all that. Therefore, I would encourage that farmers, the government really focuses on training of farmers so that they embrace all these technologies when they undergo training. And they change their attitude. Yes.
Thank you for that. And some producers of maize cannot sell maize to these middlemen. Now, there's this issue of middlemen has been referred now. And now, because they are waiting for prices to be higher, ndio wauze, like now. For middlemen, kuwa tricky kidogo. Okay, the issue here is the middleman comes to your farm. You are maybe rearing eggs, or maybe the chicken or pig or whatever the commodity. Then when the middleman comes, they buy that commodity. They are very knowledgeable. They know the post-harvest handling practices. They preserve that commodity. If it's a maize or maybe beans, they preserve that. And once the market opens up and the prices are good, they go and sell that commodity. So she's saying that the issue of a middleman is a bit tricky, kidogo. That is what she has written.
Yeah. Okay, to respond to that issue of middlemen, yes. As a farmer, you have a choice to either sell your produce to the middleman or to follow another channel. We have government serious board and produce, whereby we have the government policy where farmers sell their produce directly to the marketing boards. And therefore, if you are not in a hurry, because people who become a victim of the middlemen are those in a hurry to get this quick money. Yeah. So it is good that they follow that. They can sell their produce to the Cereals and Produce Board. I think that way then you'll not have a headache of the middleman, maybe being a victim of the middleman.
BS, the name is BS. On my view, agriculture has been highly touched by COVID-19 in terms of both production and marketing. Like what is happening in my location, there is no market for product, and if there is, they are bought at a very low prices. You had mentioned that. For a farmer to get full compensation of his product, it is now a challenge as a result of the strategy given out by the government, where you receive a small proportion of payment from middlemen and the rest is sent after delivery of your product to the buyer. This means that if you don't trust the broker, you will not sell your product. Similarly, the income you get reduces the capacity of input to be bought for the next season production. So how true is that?
Yeah, well, that is true, but again, remember we are saying this pandemic has just come without us knowing and without us seeing. So again, it is really a challenge we are facing, all of us as farmers, as consumers. Yeah, and again, remember we are saying here, it is a high time that the sellers, the producers and the farmers, yeah, what we are saying is if they find a way of connecting to the seller without necessarily relying on the open air market, the better for them. And we are saying the ways of doing the same is, for example, following and using those mobile apps, also embracing door-to-door, yeah, door-to-door delivery, yeah. Now that people are locked in, they were staying at home, yeah. Why don't you visit people just at their homesteads and selling to them? I think it can help a lot for the time being. Yeah.
The Kibe Jose says that increase in shipping cost of agricultural product because the cargo flight can't carry passengers. So he is trying to bring an issue of increase in shipment cost. And he is concentrating more on the flights, and even in transportation of these commodities from the farm to the consumers, now, okay, I don't want to say to the market now because there's no market. I don't know how I will phrase that, but transportation of that commodity from the farmer to where it is needed, it has increased. How true is that?
Yeah, transportation he's talking about shipment. I think is it now an issue of maybe where we are importing products?
Yeah, the shipment, yes, the flight. He's talking about the flight.
First of all, we need to realize that even the countries where we depend so much to ship in, to bring in, to import products, we need to realize that those countries may not be willing because they are also facing the same, yeah? So here we really encourage local consumption and local production, yeah? So it is true that the transport cost has really
This is Destiny TV.
Tangu mwishoni mwa mwaka jana, homa ya virusi